Hey, welcome. Today there's two of us. Yes, I know. It's a little weird, right? Like if one wasn't enough, but I need his help today. I'm gonna be doing some I'm just waiting for him to book sounds. And I'm gonna do some reading too. But we are going to do this together while I do some tapping, some fantastic page flipping sounds. He's gonna read something, and when he's doing some sounds, I'm gonna read also. So let's begin this. He's already doing some reading. Don't forget, so I'm gonna do some wrist movement. We've been practicing tapping, said Professor. Let's see where this goes. Swish and flick. Remember, swish and flick. And saying the magic words properly is very important too. Never forget Wizard Buffurio, who said S instead of F and found himself on the floor with a buffalo on his chest. It was very difficult. Harry and Seamus swished and flicked, but the feather they were supposed to be sending skyward just lay on the desktop. Seamus got so impatient that he prodded it with his wand and set fire to it. Harry had to put it out with his hat. Ron, at the next table, wasn't having much luck. Wingardium Leviosa, he shouted, waving his long arms like a windmill. You are saying it wrong, Harry heard Hermione snap. It's Wingardium Leviosa. You do it then, if you're so clever. Hermione rolled up the sleeves of her gown, flicked her wand, and said, Wingardium Leviosa. Their feathers rose off the desk and hovered above 4 feet above their heads. Oh, well done, cried Professor Flitwick, clapping. Everyone see here? Miss Granger has done it. Ron was in a very bad mood by the end of the class. Well, so now it's my turn to do some reading. The 4 houses are called Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Each house has its own noble history, and each has produced outstanding witches and wizards. While you are at Hogwarts, your triumphs will earn you house points, while any rule breaking will lose house points. At the end of the year, the house with the most points is awarded the House Cup, a great honor. I hope each of you will be a credit to whichever house becomes yours. The sorting ceremony will take place in a few minutes, in front of the rest of the school. I suggest you all smarten yourselves up as much as you can while you are waiting. Very good. another part here. "Sit, my children, sit," she said, and they all climbed awkwardly into armchairs or sank onto poofs. Harry, Ron, and Hermione sat themselves around the same round table. "Welcome to divination," said Professor Trelawney, who had seated herself in a winged armchair in front of the fire. "My name is Professor Trelawney. You may not have seen me before." Nobody said anything. Professor Trelawney delicately rearranged her shawl and continued. "So you have chosen to study divination, the most difficult of all magical arts. I must warn you at the outset that if you do not have the sight, there is very little I will be able to teach you. Books can take you only so far in this field. Many witches and wizards, talented though they are in the area of loud bangs and smells and sudden disappearance, are yet unable to penetrate the veiled mysteries of the future. It's a gift granted to few. You, boy," she said suddenly to Neville, who almost toppled off his poof. "Is your grandmother well?" "I think so," said Neville, tremulously. "I wouldn't be so sure if I were you, dear," said Professor Trelawney, the firelight glinting on her long emerald earrings. Neville gulped. Professor Trelawney continued placidly. "We will be covering the basic methods of divination this year. The first term will be devoted to reading the tea leaves. Next term we shall progress to palmistry. By the way, my dear," she shot suddenly at Parvati Patil, beware a red-haired man." Parvati gave a startled look at Ron, who was right behind her, and edged her chair away from him. "In the second term," Professor Trelawney went on, "we shall progress to crystal ball, if we have finished with fire omens, that is. Unfortunately, classes will be disrupted in February by a nasty bout of flu. I myself will lose my voice, and around Easter, one of our number will leave us forever." A very tense silence followed that pronouncement, but Professor Trelawney seemed unaware of it. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Fantastic, fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.